Hello, Blizzard fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another Daily Blizzard upload. This is a game between Pandemic and NotPerfect on Echo the Ladder Edition. Now, as you may or may not know, I am a member of the SCV Rush casting clan. They cast ESL games, which stands for the Electronic Sports Gaming League. And, speed up the game a little bit here. And up here in the top left, we have the blue Protoss NotPerfect. He is also a member of SCV Rush. And he came into the group chat of SCV Rush the other day and said, you really need to see this replay. And I said I cast it for him, and he said that'd be great. So he also goes by Barcode, and he's a silver level player, so I assume this is a silver level game. And in the bottom right, we have Pandemic, the red Zerg, who for some reason has his drones not mining. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... and 50 minerals exactly. There they go. 1 minute and 40 seconds into the game, he finally starts mining. What was that? In Heart of the Swarm, they actually introduced a patch somewhere along the way that introduced immediate harvesting when you start the game. So even if he was away from the keyboard or AFK, it really should have at least been harvesting his guys. But instead, they sat there for 1:40, and now here comes NotPerfect being very confused about what he sees. There's no spawning pool, there's no hatchery, there's not enough workers to really justify what he saw there, so he throws down some pylons. He has a forge back home here. It was going to be a forge fast expand, but instead he goes ahead and throws down some pylons. Now you'll notice he can't put a pylon here to fully block off the bottom of this ramp because of these plates. That was also introduced in Heart of the Swarm because a lot of Protoss players were actually fully walling off the bottom of this ramp against Zerg players, preventing them from getting out to take their natural and putting cannons behind it. It was super annoying for Zerg players. It really cost them a lot of games that they felt was unfair. And so they asked Blizzard to put these plates here to allow at least something to escape. A little bit easier for Zerg players to deal with this. So here we actually have NotPerfect super committing to this cannon rush. I mean, holy cow, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cannons. Okay, 5 cannons now, pushing them up and up and up, doing a creep towards the creep. And okay, let's slow it down here a little bit as we're getting a little more exciting. We do have Zerglings popping out now. They are Slowlings though, the worst unit in the game. They're going to try to get rid of these guys, but they can only really attack these two without getting hit by that cannon in the back. So we'll see if they can get these cannons before they finish. And no, not quite able to do it. This cannon does finish. Finishes off all of these Zerglings. Goes to town on this queen. And this one actually does manage to complete. And again, wounded units and damaged units do full damage, as much damage as full health units. So here we are, NotPerfect really just fully committing to this cannon pressure. This isn't something you see a lot in Protoss versus Zerg because you can't build cannons on the creep. Like if you want to cannon rush a Protoss player or a Terran player, it totally makes sense because you can build right up close to their buildings and mow them down fairly easily. But this creep is kind of a safe barrier for the Zerg player. And what you end up getting is you kind of have to get as close as you can, but you're still not in range of this hatchery, for example. If you're lucky, you can get in range of things like a spine crawler or a spawning pool like we saw go down and is now being replaced. But this spine crawler, unfortunately, is going to get maybe a poke off and then die. Oh no, it gets moved out just at the last second. Good control, kind of, by Pandemic. He keeps it alive anyway. He's going to move it up here, see if he can get in range of these cannons and try to poke them down, but that's not going to happen, I don't think. Good transfuse on that queen. Going to town on this. The drones come in to try to land some additional DPS, but they just die. I don't know if that was really worth it, as this cannon is still alive. Replacement spawning pool coming up. Back home, NotPerfect is, I don't know, he's not really making any workers. He's had 15 for a while now. And that probe trying to throw down some pylons over there. It manages to bait the Zerglings over here to these cannons, so they die. And yes, this cannon is in range of this extractor, so no gas for the Zerg from that one, apparently. I don't know why he has 2 gas anyway. Was he going to go for like a Nidus play, or... He doesn't have a lair, so I don't think that's the concern. He has about 500 gas, though. I think he could go lair, Nidus Swarm, and maybe bust something out in the main here of NotPerfect and kill him, but he's not upgrading that lair, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. Queen trying to take down this photon cannon before it finishes, but I don't think there's enough DPS coming from that queen for that to happen. Is there? Yes, another queen is being built here at the hatchery. The Zerglings come in and do manage to snipe that one off. Are they going to kill this one before it finishes with the queen extra DPS? I think they will, and it forces the cancel. That's pretty good. But this one, no, a little bit too scary. Now, there are 3 cannons up along this top side, and NotPerfect says we are going for another one. Here we go. So, man, we are just about ringed all the way around the edges of this creep here, and the main for the Zerg player. I don't know what Pandemic can do against this. It's, I mean, I guess if he got a whole ton of speedlings, he's not upgrading speed, but if he did get speedlings, he could maybe race out here. Again, there is a path he can take. It's not fully walled off through here. I mean, you'd lose a bunch of lings because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, possibly 8 photon cannons hitting you while you run through that gauntlet. But if he had like 40 or 50 lings, I bet he could get 20 out and maybe get up here and try to do some damage. But this wall off is actually really good for NotPerfect. I don't think any lings are getting through there whatsoever. This extractor also going down. Definitely no gas being harvested whatsoever by Pandemic. But again, he has 500 in the bank, which is probably enough for what he needs. But I mean, the weird thing here is that, again, the photon cannons are good, but they really can't finish the Zerg player off. You'll notice this is as close as you can get right there in that corner, and right over here in this corner, and they're not in range to kill that hatchery. And to win games in Starcraft 2, you have to kill every building of your opponents. Whoa, that's a lot of Overlords that just popped out there. What is he? 74 supply for Pandemic now. 74, he's using 28, so, I mean, I guess he has the minerals for it. He's got 400 minerals still. He's injecting fairly well on his hatchery. That's nice. We'll see if he picks up this one, though. Send a queen back to inject. Come on, Pandemic, you can do it. Send that queen back. You need to inject, because he is using... Oh, the probe comes in to scout and gets poked to death by that spine crawler. No more probes, which means no more cannons, at least for a while. But I think his job was done. I mean, he got pretty much the... What percentage complete here? Like, maybe 55% of the Zerg's base is ringed by photon cannons, and this part he can't even leave from. So he is effectively hemmed in on all sides, which is just really annoying. I don't think I've ever seen this before in a StarCraft 2 game. So, but again, Pandemic does have, how many lings here? Units tab. 24 lings, that's pretty good. Production tab shows 4 more on the way. He has a bunch of queens and making another one of those. So he's going to try to brute force his way out of here. I don't know if it's going to work or not. What is going on back home? Oh, NotPerfect has decided he's actually going to macro a little bit. Does he have any more workers? 16 workers. He's up from 15, and he is making an expansion nexus. So he wants to macro behind this early pressure that he put on NotPerfect. And we'll see if he can win the game with that. I mean, usually people say if the Protoss overcommits like this with cannons, and I think this really counts as an overcommit, that the Zerg player can come back and win quite handily, but in this case, where it's a Silver League game and there is no speed on these Zerglings, I just don't know how this is going to happen for Pandemic. But maybe he can surprise me. Sometimes in these lower level games you see stuff that you've never seen before, and weird outcomes can be the result. So here we go. We're pushing up on these photon cannons with all these lings and all these queens, focusing down these 3 cannons, kind of spreading out a little bit. I think it'd be better if he kind of got a full surround on these cannons instead of spreading out his forces that thin, but oh, manages to save that queen with just, I mean, like 2 hit points left. Good transfuses going down, back into the action, taking down 1 more cannon, taking down this pylon, which seems unnecessary, but maybe this cannon will go down to these Zerglings, and the answer is no, but the queens do manage to finish it off. Queens retreating a little bit, throwing down some more transfuses, taking down 1 more pylon, but I mean, for all the things that have been lost here, 6 cannons, 2 pylons, 55 lings, and a queen have gone down for Pandemic. I mean, that's just, that's horrific, really, at this point. And the creep tumor does get killed, unfortunately. No more creep spread out here. Maybe we're going to see another attack on the left side, getting a quick surround. The queens should be helping, and there they go. Now they come in. This cannon dies. Can we finish off the wounded cannon here? We're going to try. We're going to certainly try to get it, but no, can't do it. Back off. The cannon survives with 12 hit points. Coming back in for another attack. And again, I think this many queens and this many lings is enough to take down a single cannon. Yes, another good transfuse there. Pandemic is actually pretty good with transfuses for being a silver player. I have to applaud him on that. But I think all the lings are gone. If we look at the units tab, yeah, no more lings, 4 queens left. We are producing 6 more, but I mean, if you had other, I was going to say, if you had a macro hatch, and there comes the macro hatch. Maybe I'm some kind of a prophet. I don't know. Either way, creating a creep tumor. Oh, did you hear that thunder? I don't know if that came through on the cast, but a thunderstorm is rolling into my location right now. I am in the west in Utah, and We don't often get thunderstorms, so that's pretty cool. I'm kind of excited for that. Maybe I'll go outside and sit in it later. But anyway, creep tumor going down, spreading the creep. And you'll notice it can cover existing buildings, but it doesn't destroy them or hurt them or anything. It just kind of makes them look gross. And again, spreads the area wherein you cannot build more units. So, boy, lots of gateways down for NotPerfect here. And what's he doing with the cyber core here? Ah, he is researching warp gate. That's good because he has a whole ton of forward pylons that he can use to warp in units whenever he wants. Yeah, see how gross this cannon is now? If we scan around, what's that rotate button? That's in, that's out. Here we go. Yeah, see how it's all gross and creepy and blech. Either way. There it is, and what's going to happen? Ooh, back, forth, up, down, left, right, zooming out, there we go. Injecting fairly well again is Pandemic. His injects, I have to say, are fairly spot on. Cannon's trying to take down this photon cannon so that his units can escape. NotPerfect is trapped himself in his base almost as thoroughly as Pandemic is trapped in his base. Oh, a lot of lings actually. Now we're up to units tab 26 lings, which I think if they had speed, they could get through here. They really could, but again, 4, maybe 5 cannons if they stayed along this edge. I don't think this cannon can reach all the way over here, but it'd be interesting. I kind of want to see him try it, even though this wall is pretty much completely walled off. Okay, NotPerfect is actually warping in zealots at his main. I don't know what the purpose of that is, because he has, again, forward pylons, many of them, here at the Zerg's base, right at his front door. But he chose instead to warp in at his main and kind of walk everybody. Maybe they needed the exercise. Maybe they're heading on down to get some fresh air, but either way, the Queens are going to town on yet another pylon. Let's see, 2 pylons lost 9 cannons for NotPerfect. Will this pylon survive? Here come the zealots, gonna force everybody back a little bit, killing a few of these Zerglings. Doing a great job there. The Queens are ranged though, and they're mad, and they're attacking, but reinforcements coming from across the map as NotPerfect decides to use a combination of units warped in here and warped in clear across the map. And 2 scouting zealots go in and are quickly sacrificed to the swarm, and then the rest of the zealots decide to commit, warping in some more units, some stalkers coming in now. And here's the big attack. Queens actually fairly well protected here. The hatchery providing a bit of a barrier. The Zerglings in the back should be attacking things, but they are stuck behind the fat Queens. They can't get out there at all. And here we go. Now the Zerglings are getting into the fray. Broodlings are getting into the fray, attacking all of these zealots. They all go down, getting a full surround on these stalkers and actually taking them out. All the workers have been pulled, though. The workers are going to town on these cannons. A bit of a desperation move from NotPerfect. He needs to kill as much as he possibly can to try to escape. Try to take a natural, but no. All of the workers do die. They get melted. The zealots coming in do manage to kill 2 of the Queens. A 3rd Queen goes down, and here come the Immortals doing extra damage to armored units. They are quickly taking down these Queens. A good transfuse, though. The Queens keeping themselves alive as fast as they possibly can. But another warp of zealots come in. We have NotPerfect's cannons shooting from the top. Good retreat here from Pandemic. Pretty good kiting, but man, these Immortals from the back are just doing so much damage. Another Queen goes down, another Queen goes down, and the final Queen is going to escape. No, turns around to attack and dies. And all that's left are workers here for Pandemic. And I think this is going to be it. And yes, Pandemic leaves the game. NotPerfect is victorious in one of the stranger Zerg vs. Protoss games I've ever seen. So, congratulations to him. Thanks for submitting it. If you want to submit your own replay that you think was fun or something weird happened, go ahead and send it to falconpaladin@gmail.com, and I'll see if I want to cast it or not. Again, if it's great, I probably will, because this is really fun to do. So this has been Falcon Paladin. If you like what you saw today, hit that like button, hit that subscribe to catch more daily StarCraft 2 action. And until next time, thanks for watching, and you take care of yourself.